So a little bit about me. For those of you that don't know about my background, my name is Robert Grzesik. I'm the CEO of BotSpot. And here's a little bit about me if you haven't heard of me yet. And why would you care about listening to me talk right now? So first of all, I'm a programmer for over 25 years. I've been doing this stuff for quite a while. I think, somewhere around 10 years old when I got started. It's quite a while ago. So managed a lot of software teams and built up quite a bit of knowledge in the space. I also have a master's of finance degree. I went to Schulich School of Business in Canada. If you've never heard of it, it's one of the better business schools in the country. And went there for my master's in finance. So I do have an education in the space. It's not just work experience. I sold multiple tech companies. The first one coming right out of my master's degree, and that worked out pretty well. Basically made enough money to sell my first company to travel a little bit around the world, and ended up in New York because that is basically the finance capital of the planet. Went to go work in a number of different Wall Street firms. Really learned a lot about how high finance is done in the United States and kind of really abroad as well. After that, created a company called Voyager. I was employee maybe number 4, number 5. It was when I joined, it was basically just a bunch of us with an idea, and we took that company basically from the 4 or 5 of us to quite a bit more employees. I think at the end we were somewhere around 50 to 100 employees, and built up the value of the company to be worth over $1 billion on the stock exchange. So it made me pretty happy with my stock options. I was able to get out a bit. And then right after that, we had FTX collapse and took the company right back down to zero. But it was fun while it lasted. It was cool to say we created a company worth over $1 billion. And now currently I'm the CEO of Lumiwealth BotSpot, where we use AI to make people more money. That's basically what we're all about. We use AI for investing, and we want to make the world a richer place. That's what we're working on. Cool. So let me show you our agenda. This is what we do during these sessions. So first of all, we're going to see our existing boss performance. We do this pretty much every week, right? So we're going to check up on how things went last time around, how are our bots doing. Then we're going to plan out our next bot or changes to existing bots to see if we could do something to improve them. And then we're going to build and modify these trading bots using AI. You're going to watch me actually build trading strategies using AI. And then we'll see the results at the end. We'll see how things go. Awesome. Okay, so quick disclaimer before we get started. I'm using my own money here. So that is the opinions that I'm going by, is what I would like to do with my own money. But for those of you out there, this is not financial advice. I'm not trying to give you any recommendations. If you need financial recommendations, go speak to your financial advisor. I am not acting as your financial advisor, nor do I have the licenses to be a financial advisor. So I'm definitely not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm simply saying, this is what I'm doing with my money. This is what I find interesting. So yeah, please read over the disclaimer to make sure that you kind of get to that whole point. All right. There we go. So let's get started. But if you guys want to try it yourself, check it out. Go to www.botspot.trade, where you will be able to basically try this out yourself. All the bots that we make go onto our marketplace. So you can actually go into our marketplace and use any of these bots that we create, or you could go in and try it out yourself using our AI to actually build something as well. All right. Okay, so let's get it kicked off. Hey guys, how's it going? Usual suspects here. For those of you that don't know, here's botspot.trade. You come to our website, you're going to see something like this, right? And once you get here, you could actually check out a lot of the stuff in our marketplace, see how all that is doing. And you can basically copy a lot of these different things in here. We actually just went through a little update for the website. So this is actually looking a lot better organized than it was before, but looks fantastic. Cool. So if you want to go in here, you can actually see how some of these bots are doing and you can just hit start trading, or you can run your own back test, or you can copy and edit and kind of take it in your own direction as well. If you find one that's interesting, you're like, you know what, I want to change this a little bit. Let's say you like the weekly momentum option strategy. Maybe you want to copy and edit it and to change the stock tickers in there or something like that. You can do that very easily using AI. All right, cool. Let's take a look at how the strategies that we've been running have been doing. So I'm going to log in. And I'm going to check out my account. I'm going to go into my deployments. These are the bots that I am currently running. Right? These are the two that we ran during these sessions. These are ones that actually have real money in. So let's take a look at both of these. All right, so we got here our weekly momentum option strategy. I'm going to click on view performance. Let's see how this one's been doing. And it looks like we're up. Very nice. Cool. So we've been running this bot since October 1st. We're up 1.4%. Nothing crazy, nothing to write home about, but we are positive, which is very nice, because the last week we checked this, we were in the negative. We made some adjustments to the bot, and now things are actually going in the right direction, which is pretty damn cool. All right. What do we own right now? We own shares of HIMS is what we own. I could log into this account here. Let me pull up my Google Sheets where I have all of my broker accounts, and this one is going to be inside of this account. So I'm going to log in here, and let's see how this is doing. So for those of you that don't know, whenever you use BotSpot, you're going to link it to a broker, right? And in this case, I have it linked up to this broker called Tradier, where you can see here I have some some options in HIMS, which looks like they're actually up about $20. I believe this strategy is set to trade every Thursday, so it probably just bought this earlier today. And we can actually take a look at what activity has been happening in this account. It's activity type, interest, journal, option, trade. Let's see. Okay, so we just sold some CCJ. That makes sense. Sold it for $600, sold it for $500. Looks like we made a nice profit off of this. Bought it for 400, sold it for 500. Very nice. Bought it for 400, sold it for 600. That's actually, no, these are two different ones. This is HIMS. This is the one that we just bought here. And we bought a couple of these for $300. All right. So far, so good. We're up a little bit. Nothing to write home about, but I think pretty damn cool. Going in the right direction. Let's see how this turns out. For those of you that don't know, the reason why we're actually so interested in this one is because of the back test that we got was pretty damn good. So here's that back test. When we ran it, we got 110% annual return with only a 42% drawdown. This is over the period of about a year and a half. When we take a look at the tear sheet, this is kind of what it looks like. So it's a pretty damn nice looking graph. It was enough to convince me to put my own money into this. If we could hit that 110% return per year, I'll be pretty damn happy. I'll tell you that much. All right. As you can see here, basically what this does, or maybe you can't see it, but basically what this strategy does is it will buy from a list of the best tickers over the past couple years, which we did manually. We used that with AI and kind of just looked it up and said, hey, here, what are the best tickers? It gave us a list, the ones that performed the best. We put those into a basket and we said, okay, well, out of those, which are performing the best over the past, I think 30 days or something like that, or 3 months. We pick those best ones and we invest in the top two, right? So we don't just buy one, we buy two. Today, we only seem to have one, which is probably has something to do with either price or maybe just hasn't bought it yet. That's normally what it should do. And then we also have something called a VIX check, where if the VIX is above 21, for those who don't know what the VIX is the volatility index. It was really high earlier this year, beginning of January. There's a lot of uncertainty. January, February, March, especially around the whole tariff debacle and all that. VIX shot up like crazy. And that's when it would have not traded. So actually would have been a very good time. So if you see here, you see some nice flat spots in our back test. That's because the VIX was too high and just said, you know what, I'm not going to trade here, which actually was a very good thing because the stock market was down. So kind of avoided that whole downturn and then just continued to go up afterwards. So I'd say that's a really nice outcome there. Cool. So that's our weekly momentum option strategy. Again, if you guys want to run this, it's available in the marketplace. So you guys can check it out. And here's another one that I'm running with real money. So actually that one, this one, the weekly momentum option strategy. This one, I believe I have about $5,000 in it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so it's about $5,000 in this account. Okay, I have another one running here. Is our TQQQ SMA 200. This is also in the marketplace. This one's been doing quite well as well. I click on View Live Performance, and this is what happened with this one. This one's up 2.6%. Very cool. This one's up that much since September 24th. So it's been about, 3 weeks, up 2.6%. Not bad. Let me actually take a look at what the market's been doing over that same time period. Actually, we can even see it here. You can see we're beating the stock market. The stock market took a bit of a dive, but we're right above it. Stock market is up. If I had put my money to stock market, I would have gone from 2066 to 2090. I would have made a little bit of money in stock market, but instead I made quite a bit more. So I'm at 2123 is the value of my account right now. So we're up an extra, $50 to $100, somewhere in between there. And same here, same with this options bot. We're actually above, we're quite a bit above the market as well. So both are being the stock market. I'd say that's a nice result. The stock market hasn't been very good over the past little bit, but we're still beating it. So it's great. It's a win in my books. All right, cool. Okay, so we've seen both of those. We see how they're doing. Let's, and by the way, for this one, for the TQQQ SMA, why am I putting my money into it? This is the reason why. So if we go look at the back test, you can see here we ran a back test from 2012, going back quite far, 13 years. We got a 36% annual return going back that far. This is actually one of my favorite strategies. Very, very simple. If you guys don't know what it is, this is what the equity curve looks like. 36% return per year. I'd say that's pretty damn nice in a back test. And basically, it's been up quite a bit since it started trading or simulated trading, right? Which, I've been talking about this algorithm for quite a while. 36% of your return, depending on kind of your risk preference. For me, that's a pretty damn nice return for the drawdown that we have to pay for over this time period as compared to S&P 500, right? The total return for S&P would have been 455% return, whereas this strategy would have been 5,000% return. Compounding interest is pretty damn amazing. That's where we get that 36% versus 14. What I think a lot of people don't understand is if you have, a stock market that makes 14% a year, and this one's doing a little bit more than double, 36% a year, people think that the total return at the end of the day is double. It is definitely not. If you do compound returns, you get quite a bit more. So here, S&P did 455%, whereas we got almost 5,000%. So something like 10x the return of the stock market with that compounding effect, and not too much more of a drawdown. So we had a 47% drawdown versus the stock market, which had about a 33% drawdown. So a little bit more risky, but not by much, but a heck of a lot more profitable, which is why I put my money into it, and I put my money where my mouth is. I'd actually like to put more in. I only have a $2,000 account here. I think I'd like to put quite a bit more into this bot, actually. I just need to transfer some money around. But very cool. That's where we're at right now. And hey, guys, how's it going? So I'd like to turn around. What do you guys think about all this? What do you guys think about where we're going? What kind of strategies are you guys interested in pursuing? I know I've been thinking about a few different strategies lately, actually. I've been thinking about getting a futures spot up and running, which we are almost there with our futures strategies, being able to do that. So I actually need to get an account funded. That's kind of my biggest thing is I need to have an account for our futures trading. And for those of you that like doing futures trading, I think it'd be pretty cool to try one out. I actually have seen a lot of our clients make a crap load of money trading futures. So I've actually become quite interested. When you start seeing a bunch And when you see one person show you a 400% a year return, you're like, yeah, sure, whatever. When you get, 3 or 4 or 5 people tell you the same thing, so you start to pay attention. So I think we do some future strategies. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then in terms of, what we're going to trade today, there's a bunch of different things that we can do. One thing I was thinking about, because I've been talking to a lot of people, and there's definitely a lot of worry out in the market right now where, maybe we're about to see a nice little correction or something like that. I've been thinking about one of our bots that we've had for a while. This is one that we built. We actually spent quite a few weeks, and I think some of the people here in the channel right now have actually been part of the creation of this bot. So if we could find that, we'll say Iron Condor. I think this would be a pretty interesting bot to run during this time frame here. So we have our options Iron Condor. There it is. And when we created this bot back in the day, we created quite a few different versions. So this is one that I've actually been running for quite some time. This is, I think, the back test that we got on our version 10 of the bot. When we back tested this back in the day, this is up until December 2024, which tells you a little bit about how old this thing is. But when we back test over that time period, we got ourselves a 314% annual return, which is pretty damn crazy. And, was thinking, is that going to actually happen or not? Well, we've actually been running it for some time now. So let me pull this up. Let me see if it's still actually running. I was looking at this the other day. Let's see if it's still in the lead. We have our SPY 8, which is up 17%. We have our SPY 25. I don't see our SPY 10 anywhere. It might not be on the list right now. It may have stopped running at some point. But last time I checked it, we actually had some pretty damn good numbers with it. I think it was up something like 100% or something crazy like that. So that's something that I'm debating to actually run in real life. We can actually explore that and see what's going on there. Here's another Iron Condor. These are all kind of flat. I was looking over our set of bots. I think we need to make it so that we have more loaded on our homepage. I'm going to make a little note to myself about that. There we go. So let me see if I can find a different way of getting this bot. So I'll go / my bot, my bots. Let's see if it's in here. There we are. So account value, $300,000. Let's see how this one's been doing. This one looks like it's been flat for quite a while. Yeah, there we go. This is what happened with this bot. So this is pretty interesting. So it started off at 200 grand, shot up to 300 something, and then basically went flat for a while. So I think this one also has a VIX check on it, which again, if the volatility of the markets are too high, then it kind of bows out and decides not to trade. So that's exactly what I would have wanted this kind of bot to do. For those of you that don't know what Iron Condors are, there's something like this. They're an options trading strategy. And it looks like this, where basically, let me click into it, where basically, imagine this is a stock price from 0 to whatever your stock is. So let's say this is 0 to 100. And in the middle here, you have something like $50, right? So you're going to make a profit as long as your price stays within a range, right? So let's say this is $40, this is $60. You put on an Iron Condor like this, as long as it stays between 40 and $60, you're going to make a profit. But if it moves more either to downside or to the upside, meaning there's a lot of volatility, the market moves a lot, then you get into loss territory, but you are capped at your loss. You don't have a very large loss they can take. Right. So that's what kind of makes these things pretty appealing, because you can make money if the market's flat. You can make money if the market's going down, as long as it's not too bad. And you can make money when the market's going up, as long as it's not going up too fast. Right. So kind of an interesting play here, because you can make money in a lot more scenarios than just if the stock market's heading up and everything's kumbaya. Right. That's kind of what I've been thinking about lately. What have you guys been thinking about? What kind of strategies would you guys want to see? What kind of strategies have you had on your mind, thinking about, what can we do to make some money here? All right. I know last time around we worked on a few different things. I'm going to take a look at this options condor martingale. I think this would be a pretty interesting one to watch, to see how it does. We have made it quite a bit easier now to actually import strategies. So let's see if we could actually import this. I'm going to take a look at this. We'll grab our main.py, which is our file here. For those of you that actually have a membership with, this is for if you have a pro plan with us, you would have had access to this for quite a while. If you do have that membership, then you would be able to do this. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our version 10, because this is the one that I find the most interesting. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to open up this other file that I downloaded, or our strategy itself, and I'm going to stick this right up at the top. Boom. And then I'm going to turn this off. Actually, let's see how this all does. Max VIX, min VIX. I'm going to just delete those just in case the AI decides to fully take that to heart. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, where are we? Trying to figure out where the heck my window went. This is one of them. There it is. Okay. Let's see if we can actually import this thing. This is something that is a feature that we've never actually tried on BotSpot, or that I have never tried on BotSpot. But we added this cool little thing here. If you go to botspot.trade, there's whenever you try to create a strategy using AI, there's this little paperclip in the bottom left-hand corner. And click on that. I'm going to attach this file here. It automatically detects that it's Python and it asks me, do you want to import this strategy? I'll say yes, convert it, import it, and we'll let the AI go do its thing. Very cool. Awesome. Right. Hey, Patrick, how's it going? You're saying, yes, you can now. I'm wondering what you mean by that. If you mean that you could hear my voice, because the mute was on earlier today. But okay. So I'm uploading the strategy file. Let's see how this thing turns out. And let's see if we can get this thing to actually work. It's an old strategy. I haven't ran this for well over a year. You can actually see the back test was to December 2024. So it tells you how long it's been since we last ran this strategy. All right, so our AI is doing its thing. It's going off, doing its calculations, creating a new strategy. While that's going, let me ask you guys, how's your trading going so far, guys? We got a couple people on the channel here. How are your trading strategies coming along? Have you guys been running anything from our marketplace? Have you guys been trying to build anything on BotSpot, or have you guys been trading anything interesting lately? The past week has been a little boring in the markets, I gotta say, in the past week or two. It's kind of just been flat for a bit. It's a big change from when we had these big upswings like crazy, just making tons of money on Nvidia, and I own a lot of Tempest and all these different companies. Robinhood was actually a pretty crazy one. And the past week has been a little bit boring in the markets, I gotta say. All right, so we're going to give this AI a chance to do this. It says it's going to take about 2 to 3 minutes. This is a little bit more of a complicated strategy. Let's see if it can actually get this thing to work the first time around. We're actually working on a new version of our AI that will be available very shortly. Hopefully, by the end of this weekend, we're hoping to have a brand new feature actually on BotSpot where we're going to be where we've partnered up with a company that provides data called Theta Data, and they're going to be providing some really, really good options data. And if you want to trade options or if you want to trade stocks, you're going to have a really, really good data provider very soon, and it's quite cheap. We're going to be giving the first month for free. So if you guys want to try that out, you're going to have a free trial for a month, testing out the data, and that's also for anyone else who's already been a part of our thing. You still get a free month even after you've been a customer for a bit. And after that, it's if you guys know about how much data providers cost, they go $200, $400 a month. These guys are only charging $20 per month for really, really high quality data. So it's something that we're very excited about. And you guys are going to get really, really high quality data for a heck of a lot cheaper than you could get anywhere else. So I'd say that's a pretty nice perk. All right. All right. AI is finishing up here. We'll see how this turns out. And we'll see if this strategy actually even runs. Because it's been such a long time and it's converting things over with AI. So it might not work the first time around. We might have to fiddle with it a little bit. We'll see how that all works out. Or we could do is we could just start it from scratch too. We could say make an iron condor trading bot that does XYZ, and we could see how it actually does that. I think it'd be pretty cool to see. We can try our AI in 2 different ways. And give it some existing stuff, or we could say, hey, build this from scratch, and we could see how well it does. I tell you, this strategy, pre-AI, this is before AI really got good at making strategies, which was about a year ago. Pre-AI, I think it took us 3-4 months to build, something like that. It'd be interesting to see how fast AI can build it comparatively, right? If it took us 4 months to build manually, could AI build it in a couple minutes by itself? Maybe. I think it's getting to that point where AI is getting so powerful it could do quite a bit of crazy stuff in a very short time. Okay, there you go. Here's our strategy. Perfect. The diagram is loading. Let's read up about what it created. So it says this strategy builds an iron condor on a single underlying targeted short, strikes by option delta, targeting short strikes by option delta, and setting the 4-leg package around a set time each trading day. It keeps the same parameter defaults, timing, and strike quantity logic as the uploaded version, and uses built-in helpers to validate expirations and option quotes. It also respects some volatility and trend gates, so the bot avoids entering into outlier conditions. This reproduction mirrors the uploaded file structure and intent while using official helpers for option selection and VIX checks for compatibility with Lumibot's single file workflow. Very cool. Okay, so here's our code. This is what it created. So for those of you that care about looking at code, pretty impressive that it stuck all the stuff in here. This is exactly what I wanted. It gave all of our, this is our version 10 of our bot that actually pulled all this stuff in. So this is great. Min VIX, max VIX, Greek style toggles for official file. This is max VIX 1 day, min VIX. Let's see how this actually compares to the file itself. Because I deleted actually these two, min VIX and max VIX. So I put those in as none. This actually looks pretty damn good. It actually kept everything here. Quantities to trade 30, 75, 225, 30, 75, 225. This actually looks very good. It looks like it copied over quite well. Let's see if it works. That's it's a pretty. I gotta say, we spent a lot of time building this out, and it's quite a complex strategy. So let's see if this AI actually was able to do this in one shot. I'll be very impressed if this works the first time around. Let's do a short um, time period. I'm going to use a time period that we know it actually traded. So where is that? We got this right here. So we know that it actually traded 2024, let's say March, right? This is this time period around here, 2024, let's say '05. We know it was quite active here. If we could see a nice big jump like this, then we'll know this thing's actually functioning. So 2024, '05 to '07. 2024, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say June. 2024, June, let's say to the end of the month. Let's do 1 month. Okay. I'm going to back test it and let's see if this actually works. So right now what we're doing is we're simulating this strategy. What would have happened throughout that time period, right? This is from June 1st of 2024 to June 30th of 2024. Let's see what it would have done around that time period. Okay, this is actually running. Wow, holy crap. So far, it seems like it's actually trading. Let's see what happens. Okay, we started with a $25,000 account. I believe we set that to be 25,000 because this one could potentially violate the PDT rule, which apparently is actually under review right now and might change. For those of you that don't know, if you want to do day trading, you usually require a $25,000 account or more because that is basically what the government says. If you don't have a $25,000 account, then you're considered a day trader and they could shut down your account, right? Whereas if you have that much or more, then you're allowed to day trade and do whatever the heck you want, basically, which I think is silly personally, because you're assuming that just because someone has a small account, or actually the other way around, is basically the assumption saying if you have over $25,000, you know what you're doing financially, so you can do basically whatever you want. I think that's kind of silly. Just because someone doesn't have a big account doesn't mean they don't know what they're doing, right? They might be new, they might have a small account. There's a lot of things that could be happening. But so far, this is actually looking like it's trading. Look at this. We're 9% in. It's up to $26,000. So it actually so far seems like, yeah, it's up to 29,000. This is actually looking like it might work. Holy crap. It might have worked the first time around. We picked a good time period, right? We picked this time period. So I'd expect it to shoot up like crazy, right? This should go up something like 600%. Yeah, almost 600% it should go up over this time period. Maybe a little less because we only did a month. And then we went from here to here. We did somewhere in the middle there. So let's see. Yeah, look at that. Our strategy is just taking off. Holy crap. All right. So I'd say that's pretty damn good. So far, we're at 40% through the whole thing. So what do you guys think? Have you guys ever traded iron condors? Are you guys options traders? What do you guys like to trade? I was meeting a ton of people that were trading iron condors for quite some time. As volatility is low. Whenever volatility is low, whenever the stock market is not moving too much, whenever things are pretty stable, that's when this strategy really shines. And this is looking pretty good because this is June of last year. This is, yeah, the summertime of last year was a pretty chill period. There wasn't anything too crazy going on with the markets. We're just kind of getting into election season. Look at that, from 25,000 up to 44,000 already. I'm feeling pretty good about the strategy. How about you guys? Okay. Well, we'll let this thing finish up. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find this strategy. This is where it is right here, the options condor martingale. And I actually wouldn't mind running this thing. I think it'd be pretty cool to see this thing actually run. Our back tests are giving us some really nice results. What I'd like to see is I would normally throw some cash into this at first. I'm just wondering whether this is going to trigger our PDT rule is my only thing. So we might need to kind of tell it not to trade too much because it'll violate the PDT rule, and then I'm going to get one of my accounts shut down. So I think we need to make that little change. I believe it should be trading condors. I also kind of want to run this with a paper trading account for a little bit. The other ones that we've been running directly with real money, I think it would make sense to kind of let this thing trade for a little bit first, just to make sure it's doing everything correctly. Because, I'm wondering about whether it's going to keep up this return, which that's always a concern. But I'm wondering also whether this thing's going to be trading them using multi-leg options, which is going to get us around that whole PDT rule. So that's kind of one thing I'd like to verify that it does before trading it. And this is it's less about losing money, and it's more about having one of my accounts shut down, which I've had that happen, and it's kind of annoying seeing that. So I'm looking for an account here that I could actually use. I have one that seems to be open. Let me log in with this account and let's see if I can use their paper trading ability. I'll show you guys how to run a paper bot as well. We'll go like this. I got a verification code. Let me check that. I see one message from him. I do not see. I don't see this code, so I'm going to get to resend. Kind of silly how Tradier sends out this code to your email. Still not seeing it. Let's see if it's in. Oh, there you go. It sends it to my other email address. Perfect. All right. There it is. Verify. Oh, I guess I got the old code. Let's try this new one. Verify. Boom. There you go. We're into our account. This is one that I don't have any money in, but we could use the paper trading. It's only $400 though. That's not going to be good. We're going to need a quite a bit larger account to trade that. $400 is just not going to cut it. So let's try another account here. I'm going to log out of this. Reason why I'm saying $400 is not enough. If you're trading iron condors, you kind of need more cash in your account. I think the minimum is probably around 3, 4, 5,000, depending kind of on the details. But if you have an account smaller than that, then you're gonna have a hard time trading condors because you have to buy so many options and you have to like scale it up and things like that. So it just doesn't really work that well. So I'm looking for an account that has. There we go. This looks like a little bit more reasonable. $40,000 account. Let's use this one. Okay, and there you go. There's our back testing result. 120% a year. That's quite nice. There's a pretty big drawdown, but this is looking pretty similar. Yeah, look at that. It's a big jump. This is looking pretty similar to this right here, right? It shot up like crazy and then it had a drop. So it looks like it's actually doing what we would have expected here. I'm going to expand out our back testing window. I'm going to start this from May 1st, and we're going to go all the way till July 30th. So we'll do this over a 3-month period, and we'll back test over a longer time period and see how that does. See if it still mimics what we originally had. because this is looking pretty similar. This looks like a zoomed in graph of right here. We zoomed in. This is the 6th, right? So somewhere around right there, shot up, and then we had a big downturn. So somewhere around there where this kind of graph came from. I think that they sound about the same. Look, I'm not 100% sure yet that we have fully replicated this thing, but we will see after trading it for a bit. Okay, so we have this strategy, options, condor, martingale. I'm going to hit start trading, and I'm going to use the Tradier brokerage with this. So I'm going to choose your broker. I'm going to go Tradier, and then we're going to copy over these codes. No, not the right one. Oh, you got to switch over. This is kind of a weird thing with Tradier. You have to switch over to your paid account in order to get all this stuff. So go account settings. There you go, API access. And I'm going to regenerate my token. Really? That's strange. Okay, either way, I'm going to move this over to the side. I'm going to do this on another screen, guys. Sorry. Just trying to keep a little bit of security here because this is a live stream. So I'm going to put in my account number and I'm going to put in my access token from my Tradier account. Stuck that in there. Boom. And there is our Tradier account. This is my account number. Sounds great. And I'm going to hit deploy and let's see if this thing actually works. So again, this is just using paper trading. For now, I want to actually see this thing trade for a little bit first before I'm going to stick some real money into it. But I think that's actually a good practice in general. For those of you guys that are building out AI algorithms, I'm not a financial advisor, but I am a tech guy. And I've been doing tech for quite a while. And if you're someone who wants to actually run a strategy, what I highly recommend, you build your strategy, you back test it first, then run it with real money for a little while and see how that all works out. Or run it with fake money for a little while and see how that works out. Okay, so this looks like we don't have no module named pandas TA, which is actually kind of interesting that that is happening. We might need to actually do a little bit of bug fixing around this. I think because we removed this from one of our strategies. So let's see if I'm going to hit, where is it trying to load that from? ADX main.py. Okay, so I'm going to ask the AI to fix this for us. Okay, fix using AI. It's actually kind of funny that it worked with back testing, but it didn't work with running it in real life, which is a bit strange. Why would it not have this with real trading, but it has it with back testing? Hey, but no matter. The AI, let's see if the AI can actually fix this. We'll give it a little bit of time to fix it. I think there's actually quite a few different solutions to this. So the AI should be able to fix this pretty easily, I think, but we'll see what happens. It's definitely something that I want to actually investigate because that's something that we use quite often as the Pandas TA library. And I'm going to talk to one of our dev team, about some solutions around stuff like that. Actually, a pretty good idea as to what's going on. But okay, we have our strategy back testing. This is looking quite nice so far. We have our AI fixing this little issue here. What else would you guys like to see while we have these things waiting? Okay, we're seeing the back test progress. This thing started, for those of you that are just joining, started at 25,000. It's all the way up to 42,000 already. Only 30% through this, so it's about a month in and up quite a bit. Up almost $20,000 over a month. So this is a pretty nice back test so far. We're running the Iron Condor trading bot. This is one of the bots that we actually made as a company a while ago, and we got some pretty damn cool results doing it. So what else would you guys like to see? Are there any kind of strategies that you've been working on? What have you guys been trying to build on BotSpot? Have you guys created anything interesting or cool, or tried running anything from our marketplace? Or just generally, how's your trading experience going the past week, guys? Anyone here have any good wins? I think if you bought AMD, you're pretty happy right now. I actually want to buy options on AMD. I was this close to buying them. I actually had a reminder set. It was like, reminder, buy AMD call options. I was going to do it, and then it just got ignored. Life got in the way, and I didn't end up buying it. And now I'm kicking myself a bit because it is up a lot. For those of you that have been paying attention to AMD, it's like the new NVIDIA. I think it's going up actually faster than NVIDIA lately. Let's take a look. AMD. I like using Google Finance. So you can see here, over past 6 months, up 169%, guys. Holy crap, it's even more than I thought. 169%. If you compare that to NVIDIA, I think it's been doing a heck of a lot better than NVIDIA Corp. Yep, yeah. NVIDIA is up 74%. AMD is up 169% in only 6 months. That is insane. If you had bought some options around here, right in this little spot right down here, if you had bought yourself a call option on NVIDIA, those maybe a couple of weeks expiry out, you would be a very happy camper. Look at that, going from 86% all the way up to 169. So it's almost doubled in value since the beginning of the month. That's crazy. So 2 weeks, you would have made on the stock itself about 200%. But if you had owned that option, I think you would have probably tripled or quadrupled your money in the course of 2 weeks. You'd be a very happy person, which is something that I would have owned if I had listened to my own reminders. But you win some, you lose some. The money I've been trading has still been doing pretty damn well, so I can't complain. We've had some very, very nice returns over the past few months. All right, but how are your guys doing? How are you guys doing with your trading? Look at that. From a $25,000 account to a $78,000 account. It's up tripled, and we're only 50% through the back test. This strategy is looking really nice to me. It's looking real nice to me, guys. Up to $90,000 already. Look at that. Mind you, this is one of the better time periods. We picked a good time period for this, but this is quite nice. Look at that, from $25,000 to $90,000 in a month and a half. More than triple in a month and a half. That's quite nice. Let's see if this AI can sort this out, and we could actually use a different library. I don't think we need a library for the stuff that we're doing. Look at that, $90,000. So yeah, what have you guys been trading? Have you guys been trading anything interesting lately? I'll tell you some of the stuff that I've owned. I own a lot of Palantir. I own a lot of Robinhood. I own a lot of Tempest. For those of you that haven't heard of Tempest, I'm a big fan of Tempest stock. If you guys have never heard of these guys, I am a huge fan. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, so I want to put that caveat in there, but these guys are doing some really cool stuff. They're up 124% over the past 6 months. So stock is already doing very, very well. And if you think about why, it's actually pretty amazing what these guys do. So Tempest AI, I actually, full disclosure, I got a job offer from them back in the day. They actually hired me to run their tech team something like 6 years ago. I got this job offer. I was not able to take it because I didn't have the work visa to do it. Then, it's kind of complicated. I was able to get a work visa in the US because I have a master's in finance degree and I could work in finance jobs. But to work at an AI company that literally was working on saving cancer, I was not able to get, which sucked. But always learned about learned a lot about how they do their things. They flew me out to Chicago. I got to know a lot of their team. So I actually really got an inside type of view to Tempest back then. at least quite a few years ago. But yeah, it's just learned a lot about kind of what they do. And Tempest, they actually have this AI tool. They changed their website quite a bit. But what they do is they create AI for cancer care. So if you had cancer, if you have cancer, what you could do is you could go to them and they will take a look at your entire medical history. So they'll go, what drugs have doctors tried on you? If for those of you that don't know how complicated cancer is, it is extremely, extremely complicated. If you think that you could just say, "Oh yeah, do chemotherapy and that's it," you're really not understanding how complicated this disease is. There's all sorts of different medications that they could give you for chemotherapy, for this and for that. And basically, they'll take a look at what drugs you've responded to in the past, look at all your MRIs and things like that, feed it into an AI along with thousands of other patients. And they could say, well, you look kind of like George who did this, you know, 2 years ago and ended up being cured. So they could like really figure out what medications to give you. And the testimonials I saw were just crazy. There's like basically you'd only go to Tempest when you're like on your deathbed, stage 4 cancer, you have a couple weeks to live. There's this one woman that they showed me that was like literally that, right? She had like 4 weeks to live, and doctors basically said it's over, it's done. She went to Tempest. Tempest ran her medical records through her database, and gave her new medication, and she became cancer free. It's like, what the hell? Going from you have 4 weeks to live to full remission is wild. So I've been a big fan of these guys. I actually did the math. If I took that job and was able to actually work it, I would have had um, well over $1 million in stock options by now. We're making up for it by buying their call options though, which I've made quite a bit of money off of. I don't think we made $1 million yet, but we're chipping away at it. We've definitely made quite a bit. But yeah, so I'm a huge fan of these guys. I think it's really interesting. They've been doing some very cool stuff lately too, where this is something that they're now, I believe this is what they're calling David, is this kind of thing where they're going to medical professionals. I think they started with one in, I want to say Rhode Island or something like that, where they gave this to a hospital, and now their doctors are using it with their patients, not just for cancer care, but for a lot of other stuff. So if you were to go to that specific hospital, they'd plug all of your medical records into this AI, and they could actually just ask it questions. They could be like, "Is this patient allergic to penicillin or whatever?" Or what kind of drugs might respond to this person if they have, cancer or whatever, some sort of diabetes treatments, like all these different kind of things that they could ask directly based off of your medical records and all of the AI's training on all these different medical records over the past number of years. So very interesting company. I'm a big fan of them. That's my little rant. If you guys haven't paid attention to Tempest AI, I would strongly suggest that you look a little bit deeper into this company. I do own it. Full disclosure, like I said, I did have a job offer for them back in the day, so that's kind of my background there. But yeah, cool. We have our back test almost done. There's our back test. Annual return, 1,000% a year annual return. Pretty crazy, off the charts. It did 89% over a 3-month time period. That's pretty wild. Let's take a look at this tear sheet. Look at that. Boom. Big jump. And then there's a big drop off here. This is kind of the problem with this strategy, by the way, is it does tend to have these pretty big drawdowns sometimes, but it does look like it's behaving the way I think it should be. So let's run this. I'm going to hit a back test on it now with these new changes. We'll go, let's do the June period as well. Let's just see if we can match what we got in June before. So we made some changes with the AI. So I just want to make sure that we didn't change anything that like is really meaningful. So last time we did June 1st to 30th. Let's do the same thing again. Boom, 1 month. And then also let's see if the AI was able to figure out how to run this thing, because last time we tried running it, it wasn't working. So let's see here, version 2. Let's refresh the page. version 2. Remove the pandas TA dependency it caused. Okay, perfect. And implement a native ADX calculation. Perfect. That's exactly what I would have wanted the AI to do. Gating skip gracefully. Adjusted last condor prices to use stable tuple keys instead of order objects, and clean the back test. Call to correct signature without passing on. Okay, perfect. Right. So far, it doesn't look like it's crashing. Let's see if I can run this thing. I'm going to hit start trading. I'm going to pick my broker, which is Tradier. Let's see, is this the account? Yes, that's the same account number. And I'm going to hit deploy, and let's see if it runs this time. I'm excited about this strategy. This is like I said, one that we worked on for quite a number of years, or quite a number. Actually, it has actually been years now. So I think we've been talking about this algorithm for 2 or 3 years now. And I've always been pretty infatuated with this algorithm, just because it's one of the types of algorithms that you could make money even in a downturn. So even if the stock market goes down, this thing could potentially be making money, right? It depends on the situation, but it makes money off of volatility rather than just a stock market going up or going down. Okay, so there you go. So we got this thing running. Boom. Account value $40,000. Let's see if it actually trades, guys. This is very cool. It was actually a heck of a lot easier to make this than I thought it would be. All right, so we got ourselves a bot running. It's not with live money this time around. I personally want to try this out with a paper trading account first, because it is such a complicated algorithm, and because I don't want to get hit with the PDT rule. So we might need to make some adjustments to it. But I'm feeling pretty good about this one. How are you guys feeling? Very cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys. We got Alan saying very cool. We got a few people here saying yes. Awesome. Great, guys. There's our back test. Our back test is looking just the same as what we had before. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. I think this is the one. I think this is a strategy that could potentially be quite profitable. What I'm going to do, and this is my plan, is I'm going to run this for a week in paper trading mode, make sure that everything goes well in paper trading. If it does go well, I think I'm going to throw like a $5,000 account at this, and we'll see how that works. Let's see if we get that crazy return here. This is the thing that I'm most interested in. This is a longer term back test with it. 315% a year. Imagine that, guys. Imagine getting a 315% a year return. So far this year has been a little bit more volatile than usual, so maybe we'll hit that, maybe not. But I definitely like the idea behind this. And I know a bunch of people that have been trading this and have been actually doing pretty damn well. And we've been running this in paper trading for some time. We've been getting some pretty good numbers. So I'm feeling pretty good about this one. I think this one could do pretty well. Let me also stick this onto our marketplace so that you guys will be able to trade this too. So I'm going to share this to our marketplace. I'm going to put it public, publish to marketplace, boom. And now if we go view marketplace, you should be able to see it on here. Let's see if it's there. Oh, not yet. Maybe there's something wrong with our sharing mechanism. I'm going to have to contact our team. There it is. Okay, options Condor Martingale. We got that crazy return there from our back test. We got the live trading just started. So let's see how that does. So if you guys want to copy this, you could do so. It's right on our marketplace right here. And you can basically run this strategy yourself, or you can copy it, modify it. You guys can do whatever the heck you want with it. This Iron Condor is now live on our marketplace with 1,000% annual return. That's pretty insane. And I think we're good to go here. All right. Anything else you guys want to go over, talk about, or test out before we finish up for today? I'm feeling pretty good about this. This is one that I've been thinking about for a while. if this works out, 300% a year return, does well in sideways markets, potentially does well in a down market. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Yeah. Nice 300% a year return. Let's get it. Let's see if we can actually get this. Where is that one? Let's see if we can actually hit this return. 315%. We're going to try that out. All right, guys. I think that's it for today. We did our hour. We'll see how this thing trades. I'm very excited to see if this thing actually works the way that it's supposed to. And throw some real money into this one. Feeling excited. All right, guys. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you guys next week. We do these every week. They're available in our marketplace as well. So if you guys want to see how we build other strategies, come next week with a strategy in mind. We can actually build something out. If you guys trade, options, stocks, futures, bring the idea over. Crypto, bring the ideas over, and we could actually try them out next week if you guys bring them around. Right. Have a great day, guys. And I hope you have a fantastic